You're watching NFL Daily. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, and coming up here on today's show, I'm going to try to look into my crystal ball and predict which teams are going to make it to the playoffs out of the AFC and in the NFC. But first, we're going to look here at the AFC playoff picture because that's where the show is going to start. The Patriots, Titans, Ravens, Chiefs, those are all your division leaders. The teams that would make it in the wild card now are the Chargers, Bengals, and Bills. And that's where the focus of this segment is going to be on, the teams that are actually in the playoffs if we're to start today. Let's now look at the number one seed, the New England Patriots, and their remaining schedule. You got a bye week this week at Indianapolis versus Buffalo, against the Jags, and then at Miami. The way that I see the season panning out here for the Patriots, I have you beating the Indianapolis Colts, losing to Buffalo, beating Jacksonville, and then taking care of business up against the Miami Dolphins. So they're going to finish the season with a 12-5 record, and for Bill Belichick, for Mac Jones, this has been a very successful season, a year that I really did not see happening for them, so they're going to be 12-5. Let's then go to the Tennessee Titans, who would be the number 2 seed if the season were to end today. You got Jacksonville at the Pittsburgh Steelers, 49ers up against the Miami Dolphins, and then you finish the year off on the road up against the Houston Texans. Now, this team, they actually have not been playing very well of late. You lost to Houston. You got absolutely blown out 36-13 against the Colts. But I do have them taking care of business up against Jacksonville. And then they lose 3 straight games, in my personal opinion. Pittsburgh's got a solid defense. 49ers can pound the rock. And Miami, they've won 5 straight games. So I have them losing to Miami, but they are going to be able to take care of business up against the Texans, which might actually be a game that could literally decide the division. I have them finishing with a 10-7 record. So those are the top 2 teams as it stands right now, but right now it doesn't really matter, right? That's why we're doing this video. Who's going to finish as the number 1 seed in the AFC? Go ahead, let me know down in the comments. The number 3 seed as it stands right now is the Baltimore Ravens, and here is their remaining schedule. Cleveland, Green Bay, at Cincinnati, versus the Rams, and then versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I should also mention this. Even though I'm not asking you every single time where you think the team's going to finish, I want you guys to go down in the comments and let me know how you think the Titans, how you think the Patriots, how you think the Ravens, and every other team that I'm about to talk about, how they are going to finish this season. So my prediction here for Baltimore, I have them finishing 10-7. I have you beating Cleveland, losing 3 straight games to the Packers. The last time the Ravens played Cincinnati, you got beat 41-17. Now you got to do it without Marlon Humphrey. Good luck. Losing to the Los Angeles Rams, but finishing the year strong with a win up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I see a little bit more of a revenge game, especially since you just lost 20-19. Baltimore finishes their season at 10-7. Let's now go to the Kansas City Chiefs, who are sitting here with an 8-4 record. And you got the Las Vegas Raiders this week, the Chargers, who you already lost to, the Steelers, the Bengals, and then you're going to wrap things up with the Denver Broncos. To all my friends who are Raider fans, you're not going to like my prediction. This team is red hot right now, and they were 3-4, and I just see them winning 10 straight games, finishing it off here. I mean, not only do they have a good offense, that defense has really stepped up. I think they just take care of business. They win from here on out, finishing the season off with a 13-4 record. Now, I do want to say, I appreciate everyone who is already subscribing far too often. We're always like, hey, hit that sub button, turn on those notifications. I just want to take a second to thank everyone who has, hit the subscribe button, who takes time out of their day to watch what we do. And also, I want to give a major shout out to the people who have their notifications turned on and take a lot of pride in trying to be the first comment on our videos. So what I did here is I found a video on December 7th, and here were the first 5 commenters on that video. If you want to see your name on a future show, all you got to do, subscribe, turn on those notifications. But shout out to the Trap God, Carl Tanner, Kevin McFlurry, Josh McBride, and Jeff Bach. Just so you know, you are very much appreciated here around Chat Sports. Let's now go to the wild card teams here. You got the Chargers, the Bengals, and then the Buffalo Bills all sitting there with 7-5 records. Let's look at the number 5 seed, the Chargers, and how they round out their season. You got the Giants and the Chiefs, both home games. Then on the road to Houston, home against the Broncos, and then on the road up against the Raiders. For the Chargers, I have them winning 3 out of their final 2 games, beating the Giants, losing to the Chiefs, taking care of business against the Texans and Broncos. And then for whatever reason, the Chargers have always struggled up against the Raiders near the end of the season. So I have them losing that game, The Chargers are also a very hard team to figure out because they suck some weeks and then they go out and blow out Cincinnati the next. 10-7 record, though, for the Chargers. Let's look at now at the Cincinnati Bengals. You got the 49ers, the Broncos, home against the Ravens, home against the Chiefs, and then on the road up against the Browns. Currently sitting there with a 7-5 record. Again, I have this team winning 3 out of their next 2 games. They're going to take care of business this week up against the 49ers. They're going to lose to the Broncos on the road. Denver's been a much better team at home. The Ravens are going to take care of business there. Ever since they lost Marlon Humphrey, I don't see that team being as good. Losing to the Chiefs and then rounding out their season with a big-time win and potentially a win that would have them ultimately win the division in the AFC North. Kind of strange, though. 10-7 record. Let's go to the Buffalo Bills. They just lost one of the craziest freaking games I've ever seen on Monday Night Football. I mean, Mac Jones threw it 3 times, and the Patriots won that game. But for Buffalo, it's not totally easy here in Week 14 on the road against Tampa Bay, Carolina, New England, Atlanta, the Jets. I have Buffalo, though, finishing strong, losing to Tampa Bay, but then winning 4 straight games with a final record of 11-6. I really think Josh Allen, I think the offense can get it going. They have a solid defense. They're going to get this revenge game up against New England. I'm telling y'all right now, I don't know what the spread is, but I see Buffalo winning this game by more than a touchdown. So here is my projected AFC playoff picture. I went through and I looked at every single team, every single game, projected where I thought they were going to finish. I had the Chiefs getting the number 1 seed with a 13-4 record. The Patriots, the 2 seed with a 12-5 record. The Bengals, they take over the AFC North because of the tiebreakers over the Baltimore Ravens. So they're there at 10-7. The Titans, 10-7. Bills coming in at number 5, 11-6. Chargers, 10-7. Ravens, 10-7. And then you can see all the other teams that just didn't quite make the list. One of my favorite things about playoff football is the wind elements, the weather elements. And if you're like me, ever since I moved to Dallas, I'm going to be honest, I've gotten kind of soft, and when I walk to work every day, I'm a little bit chilly right now. Luckily, we got some awesome NFL hoodies, and if you take advantage of our deal by going to chatsports.com/NFL hoodie, you're going to be able to get one of these bad boys up to 50% off. So usually they're like $70, but right now you can get them for $35. $34.99? Math, not my strong suit. Either way, though, we have all 32 teams, big and tall. There are a bunch of different variations of these hoodies. If you need a holiday gift, if you need even something like a white elephant and you got to spend under $40, these are amazing. Chatsports.com/NFL hoodie. And this is also very important. They will arrive before Christmas. So if you need something, we got you covered. Chatsports.com/NFL hoodie. And well, if we went through the AFC, I'd be a pretty shitty NFL host if I didn't go through the NFC. So coming up now, we're going to get into our projected NFC playoff standings. But first, let's look at the current playoff standings. Coming in at number 1, you got the Arizona Cardinals, Green Bay Packers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Dallas Cowboys. Those are your divisional leaders, and that's where I'm taking you on this next part of this segment here. Cardinals schedule. This is a real tough game. Up against the Rams, on the road against Detroit, Colts, Dallas, and then up against the Seattle Seahawks. I have the Arizona Cardinals winning 4 out of their next 5 games, losing to only the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys have been able to show, minus against the Raiders, that they've been pretty solid at home. I like the way that they match up in this game as well. A better pass defense going up against Kyler Murray. But the Cardinals, currently 10-2, I have them finishing with a 14-3 record. Let's go to the number 2 seed here, the Green Bay Packers. You got the Bears, Ravens, Browns, Vikings, and then the Detroit Lions. Some pretty easy games in there. And just like I said for the Chiefs earlier, I have the Packers winning out here as well, going 14-3. I just think from top to bottom, they are a super complete team. You're going to get Aaron Jones back. You're probably going to get back Jair Alexander. And we're always talking about Rodgers in that offense. That defense is lights out. And I'm telling y'all right now, the Green Bay Packers are legit. And they would be my number 1 pick to go ahead and win the Super Bowl if the season were to end right now. So with that being said, who will finish as the number 1 seed in the NFC? Is it going to be the Cardinals, Packers, or could it potentially be the team that we're about to talk about coming up right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have a really, really tough game up against the Bills? Then they play the Saints, sorry, Trace, Carolina, the Jets, and then Carolina again. if you beat Buffalo, there's no reason why you shouldn't win out, because I don't know if it's Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian. The answer is this. You want to know, they don't have a quarterback right now. Carolina, Cam Newton, he's back, but I've also seen that he can be trash as well. The New York Jets, they ain't it. I have the BUCS winning out. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, this time of the season, it's really hard to bet against those guys. So we got 3 teams so far with a 14-3 record. Let's now go to the Dallas Cowboys, the number 4 seed, leaders of the NFC East. You got Washington. By the way, whoever made this, it just drives me insane. Washington, Giants, Washington, Cardinals, Eagles. Very confusing, but it's all good here. So Washington, well, I actually have them losing this game because Washington's won 4 straight in a row. They've been impressive. Last season, Washington outscored the Cowboys by 47 points combined in their 2 games. The last time they played, they won 41-16. Wow, not great whatsoever. But when you look at this team, they've been playing pretty solid, the Cowboys, and they're going to finish the year strong. I have them beating Arizona. I have a lot of confidence in Dak. Have a lot of confidence overall in their running game. Cowboys finished with a 12-5 record. So out of all these teams that are currently in the playoff picture, right? There's 14 of them. It's just how math works. Which team not in the playoff picture is going to end up making it in? Could we see a team that's not currently in the picture might be able to squeak their way in from the AFC or NFC? I know we're going to have a lot of people commenting on this one, so don't worry. I'm going to be looking down there in the YouTube comments. All right, one more time here. Let's look at this NFC playoff picture, because now we're going to go to the wild card teams. We're looking at the Rams, the football team, the Washington football team, get a name already, the 49ers. So we are first going to start with the 5 seed, the Los Angeles Rams, who have at Arizona, Seattle, which I'm telling y'all right now is definitely a team not to sleep on, Minnesota, Baltimore, and then you wrap the season up against the 49ers. I have the Rams dropping this game to Arizona and then winning out. I just think that they are a very good football team. Unfortunately for them, they are in a tough division. This 49ers game, though, they could definitely have a little bit of trouble with this one, especially if Deebo Samuel is 100% healthy, because that dude is absolutely elite. But I have the Rams finishing out the season with a 12-5 record. Let's now go to the Washington football team here, which this schedule is the one that just drives me insane. Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles. Giants. I mean, who makes the schedules here at the NFL? It drives me nuts. It makes no sense to me. But for Washington, this is a team that was 2-6 at one time. They're playing damn good football, and that defense has been elite. Antonio Gibson the last 4 weeks is averaging 24 carries per game. I have them taking care of the Cowboys, then going on the road, beating Philadelphia, losing to Dallas in Week 16, and then they're going to beat Philly, and then they're going to beat the Giants, putting them at a 10-7 record. Imagine a 2-6 football team finishing 10-7. Very, very impressive. My hat's off to Ron Rivera. He should be in Coach of the Year discussion. Let's go to the San Francisco 49ers, who are currently sitting with a 6-6 record. You have a pretty tough slate of games, at least. That's a lie. You got Cincinnati and the Rams. That's tough. In between, it's kind of cupcake. But I have them losing the tough games and winning the games that I believe that they should come out on top with. But if you can get a little bit more healthy, it could change up the scenario. Another team, very, very difficult to be able to put my finger on. So losing to the Bengals, losing to the Rams, winning 3. That puts the 49ers' final record at 9-8. So let's look at my projected NFC playoff picture. The Packers, they get the number 1 seed because they took care of business up against the Arizona Cardinals, and then basically the way that tiebreakers work in conference overall record. Green Bay gets number 1. Arizona would come in at number 2. Again, tiebreakers over Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 3. Cowboys at number 4. Rams sitting at number 5. Washington with 10-7 record at 6. 49ers at 9-8, and then some of the other ones that just get sprinkled in. New Orleans actually has a pretty easy schedule, but they're just not going to be able to win 3 out of their next 5 games. So that's what I believe the projected NFC playoff picture is going to look like.